4 facts about form. Fact number 1. Form is the element of art that refers to objects in art that are three-dimensional or 3D. The 3 dimensions of form are height, width, and depth. The element of art, shape, has only 2 dimensions, height and width, and does not have depth, which means shapes are flat. You can see in this square that it has only 2 dimensions. This dimension is the height, and this dimension is the width. However, when we add the 3rd dimension to a square, we get a form, and we call that form a cube. A cube has all 3 dimensions, height, width, and depth. Fact 2. Just like shape, forms can be geometric. And just like geometric shapes, geometric forms are those objects that are man-made and more mathematically defined. The 5 most basic geometric forms that we identify in art are the cube, the sphere, the cylinder, the cone, and the pyramid. Any 3D object that is one of these 5 types is considered a geometric form. In addition, whenever you see a 3D object or form that looks like it's made up of a combination of cubes, spheres, cylinders, cones, or pyramids, that object would also be considered a geometric form. Here is an example of a combination of basic geometric forms that are making up these buildings. I can see cubes, pyramids, and cylinders from this perspective of the buildings. These buildings would certainly be considered geometric forms, since they are made up of a combination of one or more of the 5 basic geometric forms: cubes, spheres, cylinders, cones, and pyramids. Let's take a look at some examples of cubes in our world. Here are examples of cylinders. Examples of cones. Examples of pyramids. And finally, some examples of spheres. Fact number 3. Just like shape, forms can be organic. And just like organic shapes, organic forms also are objects that are more free-form and irregular. Organic forms are often those 3D objects you would find in nature, like a tree or a flower or a person. Basically, organic forms are all other forms that would not be considered geometric because they are not a cube, cylinder, cone, pyramid, or sphere, or a combination of any of these 5 basic geometric forms. Here are some examples of organic forms in the world around us. Fact number 4. Shapes and forms are not the same thing. Shapes are flat and forms have depth. This means that you cannot call a sphere a circle, nor can you call a cube a square. In art, these names are not interchangeable. If you see a 3D object that looks like this, you cannot refer to it as a circle. A sphere has depth and a circle is flat. If you see a 3D object that looks like this, you cannot call it a square. A cube like a sphere, has depth. A square is flat and does not have depth. In summary, in art, objects that are flat are considered shapes, and objects that have depth are considered forms. Don't make the mistake of mixing the two up.